Seriously, what is this thing for? Why did they give it to us? Why is there not one mention of this in the instruction manual? And while we're at it, guys, what are we supposed to do with this? How are we supposed to use it? Why is it so cryptic in the instructions? And lastly, I am not going to sit in a chair that's made for a toddler. Today we are going to be going over the Nurecover Portable Sauna. It's not going to be a review. There's lots of great videos out there that give reviews of this. This is going to be more of a how-to. I'm going to be going over 7 different best practices that cover a wide array of topics, from how to use your sauna more safely to easier cleanup. And I'm also going to share a bonus tip on how to decrease the prep time of your sauna so you can get your sweat on even faster. But now, let's get to what this thing is. So this is actually called a union, and it has a very specific use. It is not mentioned anywhere in the instructions, and so we'll go over that here in a second. But the thing you need to know is when it's installed properly, it actually makes the sauna more safe to use versus how they tell you to just lay the hose in between the zippers. There's some items that I want to point out on the instruction card. The first is you can see the union right there in this upper picture, that it's not installed where it really should be, and it continues down here in this lower picture. And then the third thing that just is bewildering to me is they say to put the longer tube or longer pipe in the sauna box between the zips or zippers. So what they're asking us to do is to really just kind of open up the zippers, poke that through, and then kind of zip it back up to hold it there. Well, first of all, on the other end of this is 200-degree steam, and that is a very easy way to get yourself burned. The other thing that unintentionally happens is it superheats these zippers, because the steam that's coming through there heats up everything around it. So when you go to unzip this, you can burn yourself on the zippers too. So you wouldn't know it from the instructions, but there's actually a perfect place to put the hose so inside the sauna box, so it's a lot safer. Down here in the lower right hand corner, there is a already prefabricated hole to put the hose in, and it fits perfectly and securely inside the sauna box. Now let's get to what the union is for. As opposed to having just the pipe go through the hole, you actually use the union to do that. So this is how it comes in the box, and really you just need to take off this retaining nut and then remove the 2 rubber washers / gaskets. And then once that's done, grab the flat washer and put that back on and seat it all the way on the base, and then actually go inside and put the union through the hole. Once the union is pushed through the hole, you want to take the other rubber washer and seat that all the way against the base, and make sure that the cap is oriented properly so you can close that up when you need to. And then just take the retaining nut and cinch everything down. Once this is installed, it's just a lot safer, because you don't have a loose hose with 200-degree steam coming out of it that when you unzip it could flop out and accidentally burn you or maybe a pet that's walking around. For the next tip, I'm going to be going over what I call the diffuser. I think they call it a pill box, and really this goes on the other end of the pipe inside the sauna. So the diffuser / pill box is super easy to install. You just put it on the end of the hose and you're ready to go. Why I like doing that is because it weights down this hose and it doesn't just shoot right out on your feet. You can kind of push it off to the side and it holds that in place, and it does a great job of having kind of not one hot stream of steam coming out, but it diffuses it through these holes. And how I use this is I'll put a couple of drops of mentholatum or eucalyptus in here. It doesn't take much, and then when the steam comes through, it diffuses that, and it just really opens up your pores or your lungs, whatever you're trying to do with that particular sauna session. For the next couple of tips, we are going to be talking about cleanup and hygiene. If you've seen other videos, one of the hassles of this is cleanup and making sure that it stays hygienic and there's no mold or mildew. Here is a really simple way that I haven't seen anybody else do this yet. So I simply just throw down a towel and I put my stool on there, and that catches a lot of my sweat, body oils, and then when it's ready to go, I simply just fold this up and throw this thing in the washer. By the way, if you are getting value out of this video and enjoying the tips, it'd mean a lot if you could take a quick moment and go down there and hit that like button, maybe the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. For cleaning, it's super simple. Don't overthink it. It is basically 3/4 water to 1/4 cup of white vinegar. You can do this two ways. You can either spray it right on the sauna itself and then just wipe it down very gently. Or in those tougher to reach places, you can spray it right on the towel itself and then give it a good wipe. And you're good to go for next time. The concept of a portable sauna is great. It's a lot less expensive, doesn't take up much room, but the idea of portable can be suspect because if you're anything like me, when it took you a half hour to put this thing up the first time, you might have been thinking wherever this thing goes up is where it's staying. So this was my big aha. I was putting this up 5 different times and doing it the way the instructions say to do it, and it was a pain. I was wrestling with this thing constantly. And then I realized, wait a minute, how do you build things? From the ground up, from the foundation. So that's what I started to do. So I built the lower bracket first, and I made sure it aligned with the sauna. And then I simply just started tucking it in to different places. And I have a great, easy foundation to start building the rest of the frame. Once that bottom bracket is put together and installed inside the sauna box, everything else comes together extremely quickly. Just put the poles in the different corners, the different unions, put the top bracket on, and yes, the bracket sometimes falls apart and you have to reconnect it, but it only takes a minute or two. And then the whole key, guys, is you don't start from the front or the sides, you start from that back corner. And you don't just pull it up and try and flop it all loosely over the top. Make it tight when you pull it up, and then kind of start slipping that over. And then reach around and grab one of the corners and slip it over that corner and do the same thing on the opposite side. And you can see in about 10 to 15 seconds, the entire sauna box is taking shape. And then all that needs to be done is you pull down the front and zip it up, and you don't have to wrestle this thing for a half an hour, all because you know where to start the installation of the sauna box on top of the frame. Yeah, they really want us to use this tiny chair. Guys, 5 minutes in a sauna, we all know what it's like. You're hot, you're sweaty. The last thing you want is to be leaned over, hunched on yourself with too many body parts touching each other. I'm not the biggest guy or the smallest guy in the world. I'm about 6 feet tall, and this thing is ridiculous. My knees are almost at my chest level, and it is just not comfortable to sit here for 15, 20, 30 minutes. The other big thing is hygiene. This chair is cloth. So how we fixed that issue is we actually repurposed an old shower stool that we have when we bathe our dogs. It is perfect for this application. You can sit up straight and you can kind of stretch out a little bit. You're not leaning over the top of yourself, and it's just a better sauna experience. But getting to hygiene, this is a hard surface, so you can take it out and wipe it down just like you can the rest of the sauna. It's not going to soak up your oils and sweat and everything else like the Nurecover chair will, because it's made of fabric. I actually put a link to a bamboo shower stool that I saw on Amazon for like $39, and it has a little shelf where you can put a water bottle, and it's perfect. Getting some type of improved seat is the one tip that I would absolutely take away from anything else in this video to improve your sauna experience. For the bonus tip, it is all about how to get the sauna prepped faster so you don't have to wait that 15 to 20 minutes before you can start using it. So guys, the way we accomplish prepping the sauna faster has to do with how much water we put in it. They say not to overfill it, But my thought is, why fill it up all the way to the top to begin with? I fill mine up about halfway because the whole concept is this has to boil that water to create the steam to make the sauna hot. The more water you put in here, the longer it's going to take to boil and the longer the prep time. If you want to do a sauna for an hour, go for it. Fill it up all the way to the top. But guess what? At some point in time, all this water is going to end up on the bottom of the sauna, which just increases the cleanup time. So after using this for a couple months, the real question is, would I buy it again? Absolutely yes. I love the idea of a portable sauna. It doesn't take up much space. This is $300 versus $3,000 or $10,000 or $30,000, and it does a great job. Nurecover has a great product here. Yeah, they do need to redo their instructions a little bit, but with the tips and tricks from this video, I know that you are going to enjoy your sauna as much as I do.